Hi, welcome or welcome back. Today we're tackling my DIY sewing to-do list pile. I thought it would be a cute idea for a video. I actually got the idea from Beep World. So a bunch of these I've been wanting to do. Some of them are new, but let's just get to it. One thing I wanted to do is just kind of fill out the wall with art over here in this little corner I have. So that's what we're doing now. I got this idea from Lauren Makes. I really liked the idea of a piece of art tucked into the corner or dead center at a small size with an interesting matte solution as opposed to just like a plain one color or white situation. Thought, you know what, perfect. I want to jazz up my little YouTube corner. I went to some estate sales and got some frames and printed out some art that I've collected on Pinterest over the years. Some regular frames. That one's really cool. This like ornate picture frame. And I'm going to put this art. This was from like an estate sale, but it was gone when I went to go buy it. I didn't get there early enough, so I just kind of cleaned up the product shot that they had on like the estatesales.net site or whatever. Added a little border in Illustrator and printed it out. And this one, I don't remember his name, but he was on Instagram, or he is on Instagram. He's an illustrator, but I couldn't find a print of this, so I just kind of took it and printed it out. He doesn't, I was going to donate to like a Ko-fi or Ko-fi, but I couldn't find anything. So I would be more than happy to like pay for a little print or something. This is an old print from the 18th century. I love it. It's so cute. And then this is, I think my favorite painting of all time. It's just so sweet. It's by Fragonard. Instead of going out and buying mats, because I already bought the frames, like I mentioned in the previous video, I'm just trying to buy less things and use what I already have. So I already have some thick Bristol board. So I'm just gonna decoupage or cover that with the paper, which I thought paired really nice with the colors of her dress and the frames in the composition. So next, what I think I'm gonna do with this print is I'm going to grab some watercolor paper and my gouache paints and make like black and pink stripes. And I think that will be cute. That'll be nice. This one's already taken care of, but I have to figure out a way to make this like a wall hanging type of thing because it's just a tabletop one. But I have a staple gun, so we'll see. And then for the Fragonard print, I think I'm just gonna do like a really pale pink wash or something that will like complement like the colors in her dress and the flowers. And then I have this trim that I've had for years that I got at an antique store. This like fly fringe trim that's kind of 18th century-ish. And I think I'm going to just kind of like stripe it, and that'll be fun. I thought of doing like fabric or like velvet, but then I was thinking, well, the velvet, like the nap squished against the glass is gonna look stupid. So that wasn't gonna work. But maybe like a finely embroidered or like beaded with small beads kind of thing would be really cool, depending on like the piece of art. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut everything out. Okay, so to figure out where I had to cut my mat so that it would be in the perfect spot and not show any of the gray guidelines that I made, I laid the piece of art on top of the Bristol mat that I made. And then I put tick marks on just barely the inside of the gray box I made. That way the mat will cover up those gray lines. And then I took the art off and then used those tick marks as guidelines. I hope I end up liking the final product because I'm really excited to see how everything will turn out. And sometimes you have a great idea or you think you have a great idea and then you put everything together and you look at it and it's done and you're like, oh no. And so here, now I'm doing the stripes, and the black keeps fading, so I think maybe I'm using too much water or something, but I keep going over the lines. And now they're a little too thick, but I'm fine with it. I like how they look scraggly and painterly. And I wanted to add a couple gold stars because I thought that'd be cute. I'm still new to gouache, and my brush handling is really mid and could see some improvement. So maybe I'll end up redoing these when I get better at it. I don't know. But for right now, I think they work. Okay, so for this one, this was the tabletop frame, so there's no way to hang it. So I'm going to try and make a way to hang it. I have a staple gun and some wire. It's not picture hanging wire, but I think it'll be fine. I'll make do. I'll just like twist it into itself and hope for the best. And then I'm going to put some felt over the hardware just so it doesn't like scratch the wall. Okay, so this is weird. I'm kind of not sure about how this looks, but when I had it in with just this thick peach wash situation going on, it was kind of like that's the only thing that my eye went to. However, it feels like after I put on the fringe, it feels like my eye is going to the painting. And then everything else is like in the background. Like it's almost like pulling your eye to the painting. Maybe it's because of the angles the fringe is on, but I'm gonna leave it. And if I hate it, I taped it on, I can take them off. So there's that. I don't really like how the top one's kind of puffed from the wall. And also a little off center, but they're up. They're not perfect, but they're up. And then I will eventually find something to put in the middle. But we will fill everything in time. So let's do the next pieces. Okay, so I got these up. Oh my gosh, why does everything look crooked like I live in a fun house? It's whatever. Okay, they're up. Again, these are also not perfect, but they're up. I struggled so much with getting everything perfectly aligned, especially the top one with the lady in the corner of the studio. There's just something about that frame on the inside. Like no matter what I did, it would always go askew. And I even taped it in place and it's still just askew. So there are the additions to my little corner there. And over time, we will fill up the wall. Okay, next project or projects. This was an old pillow. It was like one of them goose down filled pillows. And I love the fabric of the pillowcase. So I couldn't bring myself to get rid of it. But whenever I went to use it, sit on it, use it as a footrest or whatever, all of the little feather tips felt like needles digging into my skin. And it was not comfortable. It was not nice. I was going to donate it. And then I was like, well, I don't want to subject anyone else to this awful pillow. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I could use it for projects. I can make a little fuzzy headband for winter. It'd be super cute. I'm going to make a little like crossover headband and a pillbox because there was a pillbox hat on catslikeus.com that I did not scoop up in time. It was a little fur pillbox hat, little mini pillbox. Okay, let's get to getting. Yes, no? Is it fun? Should I put rhinestones on? I'll probably sew little sparkles on there. Why not? Okay, so off camera, I wired this and lined it. And then I just stitched pretty close to the edge around it. Now I'm just cutting the excess fabric, and I'm keeping enough to kind of have a wall of the fabric around the inside of the hat. If you cut the excess too short, then it kind of like wants to fall out of the hat, if that makes sense. And now I'm just going to use some adhesive to keep that excess up into the wall of the hat. Okay, so off camera, I just finished up the ends, and this is pretty much done. I'm really fighting the urge to bedazzle the crap out of it. And then off camera, I finished the ends of this. This was going to be the earmuff headband. For this, I am going to put little pearls on it. I think pearls and fur sounds fun. So I'm going to stitch the pearl montees on and then add a hat elastic to the pillbox hat, and then we'll have a little fashion show. But I have one more hat that I'm going to do, so you're going to have to wait. So for years I've wanted to make an embellished beanie with veiling and beads and rhinestones and whatnot. After seeing Rihanna at a Met Gala, she had a beanie with lace detailing. And then I also saw one with millinery veiling and beads, and I've just never gotten a chance to do it for some reason. So that's what we're making next. First, I want to change the height because I really don't like the look of the big, tall beanie on my head. So I'm going to kind of create a new length. Like, I don't think this is the move here. I think it's too tall. So we're going to roll it up a little bit, not too much, and then adorn it. Okay, I think this looks better. It's not as flippy floppy in the back. So I'm going to attempt to iron out the original crease and then tack it down to the side so it doesn't move. And then we'll figure out the veiling situation and how to embellish it. So now I will just wait until this dries a bit so things aren't like falling off, and then I will stitch everything and then do the same thing on the other side. And then if there's any weird gaps, which there probably will be, because when you're making something that's 3D, this sounds really obvious. If you're making something that's 3D, you can't forget that it's 3D. This will be on a head, so there might be negative space here. It might look stupid. So after I do the front and back, I'll put it on the mannequin head and we'll fill any gaps, and then we'll do the veiling. Okay, she's done. She's embellished. I didn't record it because it took me like at 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And then I ironed the veiling, and then put it over, I don't know how much, maybe a yard, or maybe slightly less than a yard. I like kind of doing like a twisty, turny thing on the sides. And I wanted some veiling peeking down, kind of like a birdcage veil, but not really. So, all right, we're going to stitch it down first. I also did 2 tacking stitches on the front and the back. I don't want anything to droop over time with the weight. There's not a whole lot of weight, but like all the little metal bits from the Monties do add up. Like I can feel when I put it on the millinery head, there was a reasonable amount of heft to it. So I just put some tacking stitches, and then I'm going to do some more tacking stitches with the veiling to stitch it onto the hat, and then we're going to take care of the veiling. Okay, so now we're going to steam the veiling in place and kind of shape it up. And to do that, we're going to crank the iron to the steam setting and just puff blasts of steam at it. Don't touch the veiling, just blow the puffs of steam, and then you'll see it kind of like melt into shape. It's actually kind of fun. Okay, and that sets it, and there it is, it's done. So we're gonna style this and the other headbands tomorrow when my hair is clean and nice. I think I have one more project that I might do, and then this video will be finally done. Cool, and then all my to-do lists will be done. All right, see you tomorrow. Yeah, buddy! Wait. Okay, next we're gonna be doing a oddly specific craft. We're going to be painting these little guys. I bought these for the gym. They're little fractional or change plates, and they're just like the tiniest measurement, 1¼ pounds for progressive overload, and just incremental, because sometimes 5 pounds is a little too much. But I want to paint these so that from a distance I know they're mine and I won't forget them. Also, I want to make like a little strap for these. So I went to Savers and I bought a little belt, like a canvas web belt, and I'm going to shorten that up and use that for these so that I can just put them on the strap and scoop them up and go to my next machine. So, okay, let's paint these guys. I'm going to do a layer of gesso first. I feel like that's the right move, but this is really old. I got it at an estate sale, and it's so old that it was $1, and nothing is $1 at estate sales anymore. Anyway. Oh, you hear that crunch? Oh no. Okay, it's fine. It was just the bottle. That was weird. Okay. So originally I had this in the video, and then I took it out because I was like, who cares? But I was watching Beep World's latest video while I was editing this, and I put it back in because she was talking about being more whimsical, and she mentioned that she wanted to make her like rock climbing outfits more whimsical, and so I was like, you know what? I agree. Everything should be fun and personalized if you can make it that way. So I'm putting it back in here. Okay, so it is yet another day, and we're going to finally finish up these little plates and strap project that I have. I painted the plates, and then I sealed it with Mod Podge off camera, so now all I have to do is finish up the strap. I did trim off a couple of inches and sewed it and did a couple tacking stitches off camera. I think to jazz this up, I'm going to use some prong studs and just do like a single line. And that's finally done. Okay, so maybe I will run a running stitch along the edges, because when I was studying it, it got wavy, but I don't really care that much. We'll see how it fares in the gym. So that is done. So the beanie hat, I ended up adding safety pins because I forgot to add them on camera. But all in all, I think it looks really cute. And then there's the pearl and fur headband, also cute. And then the twisted chunky fur headband. And then the little pill box. And I am still fighting the urge to put a gem or something on it. But I mean, with a pin, you could take it off. So maybe sometimes I can put a pin on there. Well, that's the end of the video, and if you made it this far, awesome, thank you. I hope this inspires you to make some stuff. Maybe reuse what you already have. If you have like an old pillowcase that you can't part with, or like a bed sheet. I know people make like skirts and dresses out of bed sheets. That's something that I'd like to try. Okay, well, I think that's it. So thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.